Yes. All right. So, my end of things, I've been doing work on the bestiary mostly. Also, hello. Um, bestiary work is making progress. Though I had a bit of a delay as I was looking at my prep for my campaigns, and apparently the majority of them needed prep work this week, and not like a little bit, but a lot. So I was not able to get as much done as I wanted to. But I did update the mob creator, so that now has a listing for um, updated saving throw calculations as well as updated skill proficiency calculations. Skill proficiency is a little overboard in terms of how potent it is on the higher end of level, so I need to scale it back a little bit. But for early play, it's makes pretty decent monsters. Um, and I think it's a better system because I know people tend to prefer basing things off of what like the proficiency and their actual attributes could create, and this does that because it's essentially are they proficient or are they expertise or whatnot. Um, it can also just be like a hey they have a random bonus above and beyond or anything of that nature. So um, that system there is working pretty good. The bestiary itself, I have added a decent amount of lower level creatures because part of the prep I've been doing for my campaigns has been low level creatures. Um, a lot of them have been like cultists or other humanoid monsters that can be used, which can easily be modified. So like the cultists I've been working on, you can easily adjust them by moving a few of their abilities and adding a few different ones, and then like saying, oh, they're worshiping devils now, so they have the ability to summon devils instead of undead, for example. Um, very minor things that can easily turn these like 5, 6 cultists I have in here into like 20 different varieties. Um, that all said, let's see here. Due to the changes in the mob creator, there's a few changes I'll need to make to the monsters in the guide. But let's see if I can't plop down a PDF of this for people to peruse and look at.
I did have a question in regards
Yeah.
to the bestiary, though.
Yes.
Are you actually storing them on the adventure drive somewhere? Because I certainly have not been seeing them. Because I was going to work on some of my own and plop them in there, but it doesn't look like.
I haven't transferred any of them to the bestiary on the drive. Um, I've just been focusing on my PDF here, just because the formatting properly set up. I need to go into the drive and update the formatting for our monsters in there, and then I can start working on them. I know there's a form that's been made to help speed up the process of making monsters on it, which I probably should start utilizing. But um, that is another thing people can work on is if they want to transfer some monsters from the bestiary to the drive, that'd be helpful. Um, yeah, I haven't put any of my monsters on the drive at this point in time. I also need to go through my old work from Verum and convert them to the new system and add them to the bestiary because I have some of them in here, but not a lot.
Yeah. And on the topic of like the Verum stuff, there is some old stuff in the drive that looks like it needs to be deleted.
Yes,
Because it's
indeed. Yeah, there's definitely some old stuff in there. I haven't deleted much of it because I want to go through it, make sure it's still potentially usable because I know there's some stuff in there that, with a bit of conversion to the new systems, could still be used.
yeah, I know a lot of the stuff I had made in there is just you change the name of the enemy and it works.
Yeah. All right, here we go. PDF has been saved. Yeah, the PDF itself is about 560 pages. Um, there's obviously a lot more going to be added to that, but for the most part, we have a decent amount of low level mobs, moderate level mobs, and high level mobs in here, and I'm still expanding on that. And people are free to, add to it. There we go. PDF drop. So that's my current bestiary doc that I've been working on and adding stuff. If you look at like the cultist Drake or like the bandit neckmancer, bandit bloodseeker, obviously you can now look at those stats. You fought them now, Sithams, but that'll give you an idea of like the formatting and general uh, layout of this new mob creator. Adding on to that, I believe the cultist Drake is the and cultist Whisper and Zealot. Those ones are the most recent mob creations I've made in terms of using the new saving throw system and the skill system with mob creator. So anything beyond those three, I'm pretty sure still use the previous saving throw and skill system, so they'll probably have some updates involved, but very minor ones. And you notice the book itself also has some templates added in there. I intend to add more templates that can help easily modify some creatures. The templates for skeletons and zombies on the World Anvil, I intend to add them to the book. It's just me going to be copy pasting them though, so it's not a huge difference. Yeah, no, huge book, a lot of stuff to it. It definitely can be used for a lot of things at this point in time. If you look at some of the other creatures, such as the I think I gave the ghasts maybe. Some creatures in the book will have lore listed on them, as well as details such as how if you look at the I don't know, let's grab another human enemy. Look at the common folk mob. You'll see that they have listings for their groupings. So you know how generally they'll show up in combat. Environmental list, so you know where they might be found in the universe. Tactics, so you can generally gauge how they should act in combat, though some of them have been a little lax on that due to time restraints. But I do intend to add more details to each of them so they have a full tactics block. So you can be like, oh, this person will always attack in melee first and then switch to using spells or, something like that. Also lists potential equipment they might have, as well as any reagents they might drop. Or just, basic crafting goods such as like leathers or furs or whatnot. Some of them will not list any lore, so like the human enemies, I don't really give human enemies lore listings because there's so many varieties of human enemies, and there's so many different cultures that it's better to keep them lore agnostic for the most part, so you can easily plop them in and add things to them or remove things from them to make them fit the region that they should be placed in. So like the cultists, as I was saying at the beginning, you can easily make them demon cultists instead of undead cultists or whatnot.
Look, there's a Bob in every culture.
It's true.
Every culture.
It's
and we
true.
just use Bob for grunts. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is the gist of what I've been doing. Is I've been working on the bestiary. The bestiary, you'll also notice, has a bunch of traps listed as well as a few hazards. Traps are essentially, traps. They can be simplistic bear traps. They can be a bit more like pit traps or even booby traps, or they can be a bit more complex, like a dungeon death trap, a la Indiana Jones with a rolling ball of doom. Or even more complex, as I've had a few of those in my games. And then hazards are basically environmental hazards, things like quicksand or like a fast-flowing river that might be a skill challenge for the parties. And I've been adding those into the guide. And then secret doors are listed there just because I need somewhere to keep track so I can easily copy-paste any secret doors without having to remake them. I have been working on a trap creation system as well. I know Manny was doing so as well back in the day, and I still have some of the notes for that. But essentially, the trap system is going to be similar to the mob creating system, utilizing the trap rules that I have. So like a mix of our two systems essentially. I believe the baseline's on the drive for the trap system. It's very bare bones right now, but I'm pretty sure it's there. Yeah.
Might also be, if you scroll up in peer review, might also be there.
Yes.
I think.
I bet it's there too. Yeah. You'll also notice that this bestiary has a guide for unique foes. Those are like named monsters that I made, or I'm working on that do not really fit any one category. So you can't just be like, oh, it is a dragon. It is a named dragon that is above and beyond other dragons of its type. So that's where unique foes will be found. Yeah, John the Bear. Yeah, exactly. Beyond that, I have done actually a bit of work on the equipment guide as well. I've been adding some new enchantments. Been going through it, adding probably a necessary amount of enchantments to the Arcana category. That one's got like 16, I think, pre-made enchantments now for various rarity levels. It's a little much. I probably should start working on the other ones that are pretty empty. But if you want to have like Rings of Wizardry or Force Armor, so like Braces of Defense or things like that, that category is now a bit more fleshed out. And as always, if you guys have ideas for enchantments, feel free to just plop them into the Magic I'm Crafting channel and whatnot, and I'll see about working on them. Or you can work on them yourself, and I'll plop them in the guide. Either way, that is a big hold up for the guide itself, is getting the early game Magic Item Crafting system fully fleshed out. Specifically, I want like low-level magic options for each of the different reagent types. Once we have that, then I'm going to be like, for the most part, I'm not too worried about launching with a little bit of a lax of mundane gear, because as always with my games, I can just be like, take the price from PFSD or 5e if it's not in the guide. Because, most mechanics from mundane items in Pathfinder are just, it's a bucket. It does bucket things. So, it's not really a lot of actual conversion required. It's the alchemical items, which is what I've been focusing on, that will require a lot of conversion. Yeah, and while it might do some economy breaking stuff, generally Pathfinder's costs are going to be more pricey, or around the same as my economy, so I'm not too worried about it.
Well, the good news is the more money they can sink into it, the less chance we have of someone making a boat and floating away.
Yeah. That reminds me, I probably should convert my boat crafting system to 5e. I had one in Pathfinder that my players utilized and made a full-on like Iron Defender ship. It was pretty cool. They spent a lot of time and money on it though. I can see having that, but that's definitely not like a launch requirement. It's more of a, at some point I should do that. We don't need to have boat crafting at the beginning. I meant sailing vessels. Yeah, it also can be technically used for like crafting your own custom wagons or whatnot, but my players for the most part used it for boat crafting. Yeah. Now, in terms of astral vessels, so spaceships, I don't think that's going to be anytime soon, but one could technically use my ship crafting rules to make spaceships. They would have to do like additional modifications to that rule set, but it could be done. Yes.
Look, just because your character can't swim doesn't mean water's bad. Just learn to swim. God.
Yes.
Or take a vial of blood from the litter. It might give you gills. Who knows?
I mean, part of the ship crafting rules did involve submarines, and those are like halfway to being the idea of an astral vessel. So it's getting there. Technically, the system could be used with a few modifications.
On a somewhat related note, as far as conversions and stuff that goes, I did post a proposal for the lycanthrope rules, as like was noted on the Trello. It does include a conversion of Wolfsbane, as well as a custom version of a lycanthrope poison.
Nice. I haven't been able to look at them. I saw your pings. This week I've been super focused on getting these games prepped because, dear God, all of them at once.
Yeah, I mean, it's just obviously in case you missed it, anyone's welcome to provide feedback. Obviously,
Mhm.
I probably need to go do something more specific for player lycanthropy because we don't want the Pathfinder problem where it's just like become a lycanthrope, become more powerful, easy claim.
Yeah. No, in universe, lycanthropes are definitely, if they're afflicted, it's not a good thing. Even though you might be more powerful, you're not actually going to be powerful as a lycanthrope because your character is not yours anymore at that point. When you turn, the DM has full control. There's none of this werebear, oh, they're lawful good when they turn. It's you're a monster when you turn, in universe at least. Afflicted, or not afflicted. Natural, though, they do have semblance of control and they can be, talked and whatnot.
Yeah, as it's written up right now, is technically they can make a save when they transform if they're aware of the condition, but if that's not a no-go at all, then it's easy enough to remove.
It can be had. I can definitely see it fitting in the lore. Especially since you have it set if they're aware of the condition. That is a huge requirement, I would say. But I'd definitely have it be a higher DC and something that would take time to actually fully be able to control.
I've also tried to keep just passive bonuses for being a lycanthrope out of it. It's just like instead of getting flat stat boosts, you just get cap increases unless you're in lycanthrope form.
So. I think that's what I did with the vampires. I don't remember. I know I did something with cap increases for vampires in the World Anvil.
Yes, that is essentially what I did. Though, as I said, when they're transformed, they do get the certain bonuses.
Yeah. Very good, very good.
I do have some monsters I can drop down into the thing from my Thursday's game.
Nice.
And some that I have from the recent Thursday's game that would make spellcasters cry, but that's neither here or there. We have been getting test stuff for the sanity system.
Nice.
So we actually have some information on where and how it works. And we do have similar to Traps Chimera stuff back in Verum. We do still have stuff for that works. I tested it out in Thursday's game. And generally, as long as we have like enough variants, it can work with the island.
Very nice, very nice. All right.
As long as people are okay with having like scorpion tails and spider glands.
Yeah, it's fine.
Probably avoid the spider one for people who don't like it, but
yeah, I mean anything that would trigger like arachnophobia or whatnot, those are definitely if it is a thing, just have an alternate option available. Like not like you can choose to have not spider legs, but if they are like, if you're fighting spiders, have an alternate image available for the spider. So
just Spider-Man instead.
Yeah, exactly.
But that did work out. We just need more options, as I really only have like the 12 or 13 from when we were doing that research. But it's definitely something in case someone does fist the beehive.
Excellent. Good stuff. Good stuff. Other than the bestiary, whoops and the shoops, we do have the mind's blanking regional quest lines. I know you've been working on that, Sithams, and your team has been working on that as well, Blackheart. So that's good stuff. I'll probably be working on the Eldiria stuff in the coming weeks, getting a huge focus on the campaign there. With Shrub stepping away for a bit, I'll probably be working on some Aurologa stuff as well, unless someone wants to pick up on either of those two. Yes, once I have the current workload on my plate, at a level where I'm like, okay, we can probably start changing our focus, I can switch to region prep. And then once that's done, I'd say we can begin looking towards potential launch ideas. Cursed existence, truly. All right. Overall, though, that is the majority of what I had. It was just, a lot of bestiary work from my side of things and some side work, like minor side work outside of that. So, think anyone would like to bring up any notes or the like? For character options, I remember there was a few that I was discussing with Sky earlier that needed to be worked on. My mind's blanking on them. I'll have to get back to you on that. I know that there was a few that needed to be worked on a bit further.
All right. I just wanted to check in on that. I'm finally getting to a point where I can actually do things for other people when it comes to design spaces. So
nice.
if you need anything made, I can probably look into making like subclasses, classes. Classes obviously much longer time period.
Yeah.
Races, things like that. And I also have my own little catalog in case it just happens to be there anyway.
Well, if you want to work on subclasses or classes alike, there's actually a decent list that could be worked on.
A reminder, if you're not on the Trello and want to contribute to it or see what you can work on, just let us know and ask for an invite.
All right. I don't think I actually got thrown at that. I think I'm on one of the right teams, but I don't think I'm actually in that. So throw that over towards me, and I might try to just take a look while I have some time at work.
Yeah. I remember now. Some of the option for player options that needs to be worked on still would be the origins, the creations for origins, specifically for Eldiria, and I'm pretty sure yours, for the most part, are done, Blackheart.
Outside of having to add the D8s, they are done, and I think there was some ones that seemed weaker, but they were still okay, given the fact that a lot of things are going to kind of like mesh with each other. Like there's some stuff from mine that could overlap with stuff from shrubs, but there's not really much we can do about that with our limited choices in that. But yeah, ours are done. A majority of the island is done. It's ready to go at any point. It's just the small stuff that me and Joe here are working on that need to be done, but it's not like anything that's gonna stop us.
I'll try to talk to you a little bit later about like locations on the maps. I know that was on the Trello for like certain things up on the island, so I have some ideas for some of those. I'll get in touch with you when I can on that.
Sounds good. Oh yeah. Yeah. Camping was good. It was, enjoyable, nice. Desert by a river. Very nice.
Also, at some point, Han, send me a message so I can give you the creation tag. Because otherwise, it's just me and Chrono and Witch right now with us popping in there every now and then.
Oh, very nice.
I've already got creation team tag.
Yeah. In terms of classes, though, if you have any interest in working on like full classes or subclasses, and this is just a blanket statement, psionic stuff should be unlocked fairly soon. People have interest in working on psionics. Additionally, some subclasses related towards the primal magics, as well as psionics and pact magics, could be worked on too. So, like druidy things or cultish, like warlock stuff and the like. Those would be generally plus psionics, of course.
Yeah, I've actually got a the two classes, not counting the fiend, because you guys already have access towards that one. The 2 classes I've got available, one of them I just need to get a spell list made up for, but otherwise that should be good. Been testing for like a year or so now on the couple of them.
Nice.
One is a martial support, and one is a caster with different casting rules. So that might also even be a potential for like a psionic base.
Very nice, very
if
nice.
just converted.
Ooh, nice.
It is a caster that generates its resource mid combat rather than using like spell slots. So that's a bit of a tricky one to work with, but been testing it. It seems enjoyable. Works off of different cantrips. So yay.
Interesting.
As long as they're not dying from using their abilities.
No, hell no.
See,
I am not looking into the
I have a
freaking
warlock in my Sunday group who is obsessed with the life tap feature I gave to that warlock, and they almost killed themselves so many times.
Oh yeah, man, I have players in the game that I DM. One player literally might have just TPK'd the entire group with a massive cannon shot. So I'm looking forward to resolving that next Thursday.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Good
I
stuff.
can. Would you want me to just go ahead and throw you like the baselines of those two, see if the framework could be used for anything?
Yeah, go ahead. Sounds good stuff.
Sure. I'll throw that over to DMs.
Excellent. All right. Other than that, though, anyone else would like to bring up? Anything of note? Because from my notes, obviously we have the Trello board, which I should go through it and add some more stuff to the board itself. But that is what I had for the meeting. So quick, easy clap, 28-minute. Oh yeah.
Woot woot.
All right. Sounds like we're good to go. I will call the meeting there. Everyone has a great rest of their evening. Appreciate everyone's faces and all the help you guys have been working with. And